Wow, do I have a banger of a Monday to recap today. Took two trades, one was a loss, one was a win to put me break even on the day, and that doesn't sound like much, yes, I know, but break even on circumstances like this, I am so proud, so happy. This is just me, the fruits of my labor, the fruits of me backtesting every day, doing the market series, doing all these things, like taking these entries were just so seamless. I literally said it in the description of my last video with the market series. I was like, I'm doing this because one, I want to become a better trader, obviously, but two, well, this coincides with that, but I want my entries to just be so seamless and so without hesitation. It is what it is. Like, you just become you take the shot, you don't even think about it. You do all these things without thinking because you have practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. And that's what happened today. And took a loss, didn't let it bug me. Obviously, with my adjusted R, like it is what it is. I was as soon as I put it into the market, I'm willing to risk it. Um, and then with that, I got back on side, reframed. Okay, I took a loss. What is the market showing me? Okay, got bottom ticked. Can I get back on side? Yes, I can. See signatures that allow me to then get back on side with price. And I took a 15-minute, 1 minute entry or a 1 minute entry. Bro, what am I doing? Am I kind of goat? No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, let's get into it. So we have a delayed protraction profile. That was such a rant. Sorry, but we have a delayed protraction profile. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not expecting price to do much beyond this. If anything, we're gonna start dumping, not dumping, but just kind of resettling after we have pushed into daily open here. So we had a delayed protraction profile, SMT off previous day low. You can see YM runs it. We had a pretty big drop on the overnight sessions, so that's what I was tracking. The 4 hour opened here. We had the SMT here, so plain old SMT off the lows to allow for 6 a.m. to put a nice C2 reversal in, nice closure over SysD. We're still bullish. We're closing through this gap almost on 6 a.m. I'm not shorting this market, no scenario whatsoever. I'm either longing, getting the signatures I want, or I'm sitting out, not shorting. So pretty simple there, pretty simple bias, SMT there. Yeah, going to the hourly, we get a two-stage peep. No, we don't. We get a 9 a.m. SMT. So here's that SMT here. This is ran pretty simple. I mean, it's just pretty simple stuff here. Boom, you can calculate all the stuff. SMT fill into gap. Da 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 da. We ran this low. I think it was a two-stage because I was tripping. That was when I first woke up and it was like still 4 a.m. And I was like, there's a two-stage 4 hour. I'm longing immediately. I can't remember. Anyways, nonetheless, this is what I'm seeing. It's pretty simple. 9 a.m. Like, I'm not shorting out of this. We're in this gap. Are we going to reverse? No, I'm going to see signatures. We get a strength switch. So a bit of a strength switch as this was the lowest in the range. It played out while this stopped me out. So the strength switch did stop out my first trade, but super clean. A lot of it was heavily reliant on the 15-minute here, but we did indeed get that SMT at the lows. So wait, here's true. Wait, am I tripping? No, we didn't run this low, but we ran this low. That's the low we ran. So this is the low. So we had like a little two-stage, whatever. Da 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 da. Yeah, because this. Okay, cool. Yeah. Now I'm seeing it. Now I understand. Anyway, so this was what it was on NQ here. Boom. Got the 9 a.m. expansion candle. This is green. So green. 5 minute. What do we get? Well, let's go on MNQ because this one I dropped to MNQ. So this looks a little hectic. I am sorry. So 9:30 expansion candle. We're not going to enter here because you're within the stealing range. You are going to be top ticked. Is this the appropriate? Just reverse this for me. Why don't you? Okay, so reverse this. So we're at 50%. This would be 75%. I'm not going to enter here necessarily just before this candle closure. One, because that's just not how I trade. I want to see a new 1 hour open, low, high close. We're just very high into this dealing range, which was maybe why I got stopped out. I could do better, but this SMT fill with the new 1 hour open, low, high close, or open low, and then SysD was too clean for me not to enter. So I took my bullet. This was my first bullet. So I had an SMT fill, SysD. I'll take that again and again. This is the initial SysD. We get a retest of that with SMT fill into this gap. SysD at 10. So swing formation, new swing to get involved with. Stop loss goes there. We literally get bottom ticked right there. We get stopped out. So these are we'll go ahead and put it on. I don't feel like execution marks. So you can see enter on this candle after the SysD, and then we get bottom ticked out. So that is what it is. It happens. I put the money into the market took it from me. When I put it in, I was willing to accept that risk. That's what you have to be willing to do. So as that occurs, I get stopped out. I go, okay, what is happening here? Let me reframe. So this is what I had on the notes of the 1800 and why I think this will just kind of just chop around here, probably do much of nothing, especially this looks like dog ass, holy crap. My fault. We'll just keep those. We'll clean this up a little bit. You already saw the SysDs. And we'll put this below. Okay, cool. This cleans this up a bit. So delayed protraction profile today. So in that case, you must take off or go BE once price hits the daily open, as it doesn't have enough juice to push past. You're not expecting an expansion candle past when the wick or the protraction of the daily candle is so large. So what do you get? You get an SMT fill. That was what made me enter the first time. But what do you get after that? You get a 2-stage, and then in this case, for me, this validates this 10 a.m. low. Let's just get this out of the way. This, for me, validates the 10 a.m. low based off this 2-stage so if you want to break it down like MMXM style, or just really the coinciding of the 4-hour is broken down into 15-minute candles. The 15-minute candle, just like I did with an entry on the 1-hour with the 5-minute, spotting the open low, getting the wick to place my stop loss. It was the same thing if you trade 15-minute candles. Like, you would probably enter long. I mean, no, you wouldn't, because we're already here. But in another scenario where you have enough, like price has enough juice, you could enter here off the 2-stage to validate this 10 a.m. wick low to then push higher. So super clean. I wanted the SysD, but truthfully, it makes it that I can get 2R before we even hit daily open. So it was clean enough for me. Yep, 2-stage. So SMT, second SMT there. Was there a PSP? Let's go to the 15-minute here. I can't even. I don't think that there wouldn't have been a PSP. That wouldn't make sense. Well, the one prior to the SMT, this was a PSP. So, and then you get the SMT. So that's an added confluence there. You go to the 1 minute. I'm thinking this must expand. So boom, you can see visually there's the 2-stage on the 1 minute. After this 2-stage is put in, we get that expansive run, and then we put in another SMT with a bit of a strength switch now to allow for NQ reverse. So another SMT. I'm going to wait for the new 15-minute open. Now I'm getting dumb. Oh, no, I didn't. That was the 15-minute open. I got lost in price for a second. So this new 15-minute opens. That street sweeper is very loud out there. New 15-minute open, 11 opens, gives me SysD. I place it on that for my stop loss. 2R is a bit over the swing point. I went break even as soon as that happened, and then it ran. So very clean trade, very clean for me to get back on side and get my money back out of the market. I said, give me that fucking money, especially after getting brutally bottom ticked. Like, bro, look at this. This is me. This is my entry. This is my stop loss. Boom, and then it runs to, well, technically my 2R was a bit above this. I would have went break even as soon as this happened, and then as you see, we kind of have this bit of new phase of price being delivered. But super clean trades. I would take these 100 times again. Super proud of myself on a day like today, getting back on side and getting a winning day. Well, winning break even on today. So that's my trade recap. Thank y'all. See y'all another day.